is an Educated Filipino by Francisco Benitez. What is an Educated Filipino was a timely essay that comprehensively tackles the new and modified definition of an educated Filipino. Francisco F. Benitez is one of the country's foremost educators. He was born on Pagsanhan, Laguna on June 4, 1887. Francisco Benitez founded the College of Education at the UP and became first dean. He was awarded the University Medal of Columbia University at doctoral degree on 1929. He was married to Paz Marquez Benitez, an editor and founder of the Philippine Journal of Education. What is an Educated Filipino by Francisco Benitez? The educated Filipino should first be distinguished by the power to do. The Oriental excels in reflective thinking. He is a philosopher. The Occidental is a doer. He manages things, men in affairs. The Filipino of today needs more of this power to translate reflection into action. I believe we are coming more and more to the conviction that no Filipino has the right to be considered educated unless he is prepared and ready to take an active and useful participation in the work, life, and progress of our country, as well as in the progress of the world. The power to do embraces the ability to produce enough to support oneself and to contribute to the economic development of the Philippines. Undoubtedly, a man may be, and often is, an efficient producer of economic goods, and at the same time he may not be educated. But on the other hand, should we consider a man who is utterly unable to support himself and is an economic burden to the society, and which he live as educated merely because he possesses the superficial graces of culture? I hope no one will understand me as saying that the only sign of economic efficiency is the ability to produce material goods. For useful social participation may take the form of any of the valuable services rendered to society through such institutions as the home, the school, the church, and the government. The educated Filipino, in the second place, should be distinguished not only by his knowledge of the past and current events in the world's progress, but more especially by his knowledge of his race, his people, and his country, and his love of the truths and ideals that our people have learned to cherish. Our character, our culture, and our national history are the core of our national life and consequently of our education. I would not have the educated Filipino ignore the culture and history of other lands. But can he afford to be ignorant of the history and culture of his own country and yet call himself educated? The educated Filipino, in the third place, must have ingrained in his speech and conduct those elements that are everywhere recognized as accompaniments of culture and morality, so that, possessing the capacity for self-entertainment and study, he may not be at the mercy of the pleasures of the senses or a burden to himself when alone. There are then at least three characteristics which I believe to be the evidence of the educated Filipino: the power to do, to support himself and contribute to the wealth of our people, acquaintance with the world's progress, especially with that of his race, people, and community, together with love of our best ideals and traditions, and refined manners and moral conduct, as well as the power of growth. The theme of the essay gives attention on education, chiefly on the best description of what an educated Filipino is. Form and structure. It follows a deductive form because the main or general idea is stated at the first part of the essay, and then backup details is found in the subsequent paragraphs. The mode and tone of the the essay is serious. Type. It is a formal essay. The style is impersonal and it follows a logical organization of ideas. The essay stresses on the idea of knowing one's own race and culture and possess good moral value aside from his or her knowledge gathered in the school. It gave rise to a new concept of education which is deemed as a training of an individual for the duties and privileges of a citizen not only for his own happiness and efficiency, but also for his own contribution to the national sphere at large.